Welcome to my kitchen. Over the past few weeks, I've had conversations with several of my subscribers, and one of the things that I've heard over and over again is, I don't have time to cook, or I don't have the energy to cook. And yeah, I hear you. Even I who loves to cook, don't always have the energy to fuss with a meal. So today I'm making unfried beans. I mean, really, refried beans, it sounds like they were fried once and then fried a second time, and the truth is, you don't need to fry them at all. All you really need to do is mash up the beans with some spices, and it forms the part of a tasty and satisfying meal. And it's really easy. In the old days when I used to make this, I would chop vegetables, I'd chop the onions and the peppers, and then I'd saute them with some green chilies and spices, and then I'd add the beans, and then I'd puree them. But I don't do that anymore. It's really easy to just mash up the beans with some spices, and it forms a part of a tasty and satisfying meal. So on those nights when you simply don't have time or inclination or energy to cook, before you head to the nearest drive-thru for a bean burrito, I hope you'll give this a try. Before we go any further, I'd like to let you know that I have an ebook, 5 Healthy Salad Dressings, Plant-Based and Oil-Free. And if you scroll down to the description box below, you'll find a link where you can download it for free. And so I hope you'll check it out. Now, let's get cooking. To start this, it's always a good idea to have cans of black beans and pinto beans on the shelf. This works equally well with either black or pinto beans. Today we're using black beans. I usually cook my own, but even so, I still always have cans of beans on the shelf because there are always going to be times when I just need to open a can. The other thing that I always have are diced tomatoes. I go through tons of these, so make sure that this is also a staple in your pantry. I'm going to start with a can of black beans that have been drained and rinsed. And to that, I'm putting in a clove of fresh garlic. You can use garlic powder if you want. As far as spices go, I think that spice is a very individual thing. So if you're not sure, start with less and taste it and see if you like it. And if it needs more spice, then you can add more. Unfortunately, you can't take it out if you put too much in. So I'm putting in my garlic, and I like this Frontier Co-op makes a Mexican fiesta seasoning. It's a spice mix, chili powder. It's not hot. So if you're not a fan of real spicy food, this is a good choice. It also doesn't have any salt in it. Cheaper chili powders tend to have a lot of salt in them. That's why they're cheaper. Most spice blends, in fact, are cheaper if they have a lot of salt. I'm also going to just add a little dash of cumin. And now the thing that makes this really good is I often have a can of chipotle chilies in adobo sauce. And when I open the can, I just put it in a container like this, and I use it slowly because this is hot. And the nice thing about this is you can add as much or as little as you like. chilies last about 2 weeks. It's a small can, and it'll last about 2 or so weeks in the fridge. So what I just do is, and that's probably, also depends on what kind of a mood I'm in for hot, but I'm just going to take half of one of these chili peppers. Just cut it right in half and spoon it with some of the adobo sauce into my refried beans. Let's put just a little bit more sauce in there. The nice thing about this is it gives it kind of a smoky flavor. If you don't like hot, but you want the smoky flavor, so I hear smoked paprika will give you the same thing. I know a lot of people who love smoked paprika. They actually say it's their favorite spice. Personally don't care for it, but hey, give it a try. You might like it. So the other thing I do is I have my diced tomatoes here, and I am going to pour some of the juice in, mostly just the juice and a few tomatoes. I need a little bit more juice. And that's going to be my liquid. One of the things that I have, and that I really recommend, is one of these hand blenders. I mean, I keep it right by my cooking and chopping station. I even keep it plugged in. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend you get one. They don't cost a lot of money, and this probably is the one appliance I use more than anything else. Okay, so one of the things I've discovered is if you rinse off this blender right away, it's easier to clean. You don't really need to clean it beyond that. There you go, refried beans. So what do you do with them now that you've got them? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to thaw some frozen vegetables. I often have roasted vegetables in the fridge, but today I don't have any. I'm out. And so I am just going to put some frozen broccoli in here. And some frozen cauliflower. And I think I'm just going to add a little bit of fire roasted corn, because I think that would go good on it. So I'm going to give this, let's say, about 2.5 minutes to thaw in the microwave. So always, the other thing I've talked about in previous videos is I batch cook. Always have sweet potatoes. I always have a pile of baked sweet potatoes in the fridge so that I can just pull one out. And that's what I'm going to do here. Just pull this out and cut it in half. And really, all you have to do, the only effort this takes, baking the sweet potatoes, is once a week. You turn on the oven, you put the potatoes in, you poke the skins, and some holes in the skins. And, you know, you put them in the oven, and an hour and 10 minutes later you pull them out. So, there you go. We've got your sweet potato and got black beans. And now I've got my can of diced tomatoes, and I'm just going to put some tomatoes on that. You can use salsa with this. For the first few years after going plant-based, I used salsa all the time. I went through jars and jars of it, and I just don't use it anymore personally because it has too much salt in it, but hey, it makes it really good. So go right ahead. If salsa is easier for you, go ahead and use it. And there you go. I have got my dinner. All I have to do is put it back in the microwave and heat it up. And I have a tasty dinner, nutritious, and really good. So here you have it, another meal that's really easy to assemble. And it's perfect for those days when you're really pressed for time, or you have no energy, or you just don't feel like cooking. If you think you'll try this dish, please give the video a like. And while you're at it, subscribe to my channel. If you click on the bell, you'll get a notification every time I upload a new video. And while you're at it, if you scroll down to the description box below, you'll find a link to my ebook, 5 Healthy Salad Dressings. You can click on that link and download the book for free. Thank you for watching.